Money, 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 money. Money. Now, in this episode, you're going to learn how to confidently price your offer, as well as how it's going to be delivered and how you're going to actually deliver that transformation. Now, why does this matter? Well, if you don't have a clear price and confident offer, your sales and marketing, it's going to be scattered. And you want to craft something that you're excited about and is irresistible for your clients. Now, this is gonna be super fun, and guess what? I have a super special gift for you. I spent all night configuring a custom GPT to help you create this offer in under 30 minutes. So go ahead, watch the training, and the first post to drop their biggest insight gets first dibs. Also, go ahead and grab the workbook because you can follow along with the workbook and get into action as quick as possible. This is your high performance and sales coach, Professor Daddy Joy, and we're doing the thing, man. We're doing the thing. It's episode 5, y'all. Big up yourself and enjoy the training. Now, you got to remember the name of the game that we're playing. Yeah, often we tend to forget the name of the game. And, if you're a big fan of reading the Bible, you can remember the story of the Israelites. Yeah, distraction came and prolonged their journey from, it's supposed to be about 40 days, it ended up being 400 years. Okay, and that promise is to build a soul-aligned coaching business without the burnout. And now we're at phase number 2. Yeah, isn't that excited? You exactly have the path to complete this journey because it's clear and it's right in front of you. And the thing is, you're not alone. Yeah, and I want to acknowledge that whenever you feel stuck, you have a group of people here who you can get feedback from and ask for help. And this today's session, yeah, we're going to design your 4 soul-aligned premium offer. Yeah, create and price a premium offer you're proud to sell. Yeah, something that would light up your soul and something that your clients would be excited to invest in because you're going to show them the value. By the end of this training today, you're going to have a 1-sentence offer snapshot that you can share publicly. Yeah, you're going to have a pricing decision you can say out loud with confidence. And the key word here is confidence. Yeah, if you're not confident in your price, they won't either. You'll also create your client journey map from onboarding all the way to graduation. So you're going to know exactly what is happening for your client from the moment that they say yes to the moment that they're finished. And also you're going to have your 30-90 action plan so that you can go and create this offer. Now that is the name of the game. So let's keep playing. Now I want to share this story with you because I think this is a very important lesson for you as you are starting your journey as well. In 2020, yeah, I started my adventure of being a coach. And even though I've been in the classroom and delivering training for over a decade, I had tools that I didn't have a name for clear product of. And I felt like, I didn't had anything to give because I was doing this so often that it just felt natural that I give it away for free. Yeah. And when I showed up to a sales call, I even sit across from somebody to tell them what I offer. Most people end up being confused. Yeah, because they weren't clear about what is exactly that I do. Yeah, so prospect were confused and as a result, they didn't buy. And I remember attending my first one client away challenge with Sean Q. And he helped me to review, my client stories. And we look for what we call the fastest repeated change. And that right there, I want you to pay attention to that. Yeah. When you look at your client stories, what is the fastest repeated change that you create for them? And that was a golden nugget for me. One thing I realized is that at the end of every session, or maybe a few weeks ago, clients would say that, they save at least 2 hours of time and they had this tremendous clarity of what they need to do. Yeah, from our conversation. And that became a nugget for me. Yeah. And that's when I created my first offer. Yeah, I built a 6-week session around that single change of helping them reclaim 2 hours within their week. And my framework was simple: clarity, energy, courage. Yeah, my clients need to be clear about where they're going. They need to actually have the energy to get there, and they need to have the courage to set boundaries courageously so that they can feel confident about what they're creating. Now, the result was my message tightened, and the right client found me, and conversion improved because people can imagine the outcome. Now, when I was having a sales conversation, it was clear as to what my clients are getting, and I had them write it down. And as you're listening to me, you went through that process with me, I always having you writing down the keywords in my framework. Yeah. Now the lesson here, Yeah, you want to test small and you want to get real feedback. Yeah, you want to test small and get real feedback. You want to package the repeatable change. Yeah, because clarity sells. And you want to price based on outcome. Yeah, because confidence follows. Okay? And when you realize this, you become in the state of experimentation, realizing there's no one way to do this other than by the feedback that you're getting. And I'll always reiterate this: there's no failure, there's only feedback. Okay? So test small, get real feedback. Package the repeatable change, clarity sells. Now, why does this matter? Now, this is important because client buy outcome, they don't buy time. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the gel bit story. Yeah, there's always asked a question when a carpenter go to the store to get a drill. What is he buying? Is he buying the drill or is he buying the hole in the wall? Yeah, and most people would think that he's buying the drill because that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the process, you're seeing the vehicle that gets him his outcome. But most likely the reason why he have a drill because he want to create holes. Okay, and that's why we need to start to shift our mindset around moving from process to outcome. What is the process, the outcome that we're creating for our client? You already know your process. Yeah, you already been mastering your expertise over the last couple of years, which is the process. However, the shift that you need to make right now is how do I communicate the outcome? And that's where your offers becomes possible. Also, a focused offer creates a clear yes. Yeah, when you show the client the transformation that they're gonna experience, yeah, it creates a clear yes. And premium pricing funds quality time and better client selection. I'm gonna say this again. I didn't believe this in the beginning until I see it with my own times. Yeah. Premium pricing funds quality time and better client selection. Okay. When you price your offer at a premium price, it gives you the energy, time, and space for you to do a better job. Okay. Also, clients who actually pay at a premium value your work better, which equates to better clients. And I really want you to write that down and note that. Okay. Now, the first exercise that I want you to do, and this should be super, super easy for you. Yeah, you're gonna write your first 15-minute quick win. I want you to write this sentence right now. I help who achieve, include a tangible results in what time you help them achieve it in through your method or your framework. Okay? You're gonna write it and you're gonna share it with each other, yeah, in the group. And if you're looking at this on the replay, you can share it with your level up buddy or share it with someone who you find as a trusted advisor and would give you clear feedback. Okay, you have about 3 minutes. Time is yours. Now, this is one of the most fun part, and I think that you should really have a lot of fun doing this at this point. You want to name your offer. Okay, last week we named your framework, but it's a bit different from naming your offer. And you can always change your offer, but your framework is something that remains the same throughout your entire offer. Okay, and I want you to pay attention to these three naming convention. You can use the from and to, which is straightforward. Where are you taking them from and to? So here's an example. From flap to fit in 60 days. Yeah, or from education to expert in 30 days. Or you can use the result timeline framework. Dream client in 90 days. The result here is dream clients. Yeah, also you can get your X back in 90 days. The result here is get your X back. Or you can use the result plus unique selling point. Yeah, this is where you can be a bit creative. What makes your program unique? Here's an example. Clients with purpose. Or we have leader lift 12. Now I want to take some time. Yeah, I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes and you're gonna brainstorm three names, yeah, for your offer. Now your mission would be to choose one. Yeah, choose one. And it doesn't really matter which one you choose, but you need one to get feedback on. Okay, you need something so that people can give you feedback. That's how you adjust and pivot. Okay. Right now in this sandbox, you're getting feedback already. Like we're literally telling you what's vibing with us. Yeah. But the best place you can get feedback from is the marketplace. Okay, from your existing clients. Yeah, as well as your potential clients. Okay. Now that the hard part is out of the way, yeah, this is where you create your offer snapshot. Like if you have your workbook already, you can do this directly in your workbook, or you can just copy this. Yeah, have the name of your offer, have your one line promise. Yeah, we created that with that statement. Okay, also the duration and the format. Yeah, I'll show you an example soon. And include three tangible outcomes that your ideal target audience would have. And also have an emotional one liner. Okay, here's an example. Now we have the leadership lift 12. Yeah, this is strategic coaching for school leaders. Yeah, they're specifically focusing on school leaders. And the one line promise is helping school leaders to reduce weekly operational overload and lead with strategic clarity so that they can free up four plus hours a week and improve staff engagement within 12 weeks. Yeah. So in terms of tangible outcome, yeah, there's a focus here on time, freeing up 4+ hours per week. Yeah, as well as reduce weekly operation overload. Okay, these are tangible outcomes that yeah, the leader would experience. And another one here is improve staff engagement. Okay, so when you look for tangible outcome, you want to look for things that they'll actually see and feel within the environment, right? And then duration and format, 12 weeks. That's the duration. And then the format, you have bi-weekly 90-minute live sessions, plus two 45 minutes one-to-one coaching slot for leaders, and a private community for peer solving. Okay, that's the format. Okay, it's weekly coaching. Yeah, the it's also bi-weekly, sorry, live sessions. You have two 45 one-on-one coaching slots, plus a private community for peer problem solving. Here's three tangible outcomes. Here, reclaim 4+ hours per week through delegation and streamline meeting design. Yeah, that's obvious from the one-liner. A three-step staff meeting framework that raise staff engagement and reduce follow-up email volume by 30%. Yeah, you can also see that's pulled from the one-line as well. And also a 90-day leadership roadmap with three measurable indicators. Okay, attendance, turnover time, teacher feedback to show impact. The emotional outcome here, lead with calm, confidence, and present. Less firefighting, more strategic influence. Okay, so I want you to think about the core outcome that you get for your clients and put together your snapshot. Okay, what is duration and the format? Because these are the questions that your client is going to be curious about. How long, how often, as well as what's included, as well as, what is the outcome? Yeah, what is my return on investment when I do invest? Okay. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes to complete this. Yeah. Fill in your one promise, the duration. Yeah. How long would your offer be, as well as the format? Yeah. Would it be one-on-one? Would it be hybrid? Would it be group? Yeah. Would it be a workshop? Would it be an intensive? Yeah. When I say intensive, it happens in maybe one day. Yeah. Over 3 days. Okay. And when you're creating this, you want to feel for how the energy would feel in terms of the format because you want to create something that's sustainable. Okay, so if you put something on paper and you feel like this is too much, it's too much. Yeah, less is more. Yeah. Okay, great job. Great job. Now, the next thing that needs to be documented in your office, something that you've created already. Yeah, and that is your signature framework. Yeah, in our last session, you created your signature framework and you had 3 to 5 phases that you take your clients through to create that transformation. And as I said, that your framework is the map. Yeah, this is the map. And this is the map that helps them bridge the gap between where they are. Yeah, from being lost to now being a leader of their team and being able to effectively communicate and inspire them to move forward together, or from, being lost about what is a personal statement to crafting a personal statement that increases their probability of getting into their dream university. Okay, so at this point, I'll have you document your framework. Yeah, refine it. Yeah, you already have the imperfect first draft. So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to get this done because you've done it last week, and your time starts now. Okay, now that you have your signature framework, you already have your outcome, you're clear about the promise of your offer. Yeah, now it's important to be aware of the delivery method, and more or less you have been crafting this. When you created that one snapshot, yeah, you have literally crafted this. And when we talk about delivery method, how are you going to deliver your offer to your clients? And some popular delivery methods are one-on-one. Yeah, it could be in a group, and it could be a hybrid. So hybrid is both group and one-on-one, or it could be in an intensive. This is where it happens like in a workshop setting over 3 days, 2 days, or even within 4 to 8 hours. Okay. Now, how long would your program be? One thing that I suggest, either 6 weeks or to 3 months. It could be 6 to 8 weeks as well, or 3 months. Yeah. What is the frequency of the session? When we say frequency, weekly, bi-weekly, would you meet them monthly? Okay. Also, how do you support your clients between session? Yeah, you can have a direct chat. Yeah, it could be email. It could be via voice notes. Yeah, you decide. Okay, and you want to include that into the offer as well, so that is communicating clearly. And you want to see which model protects your energy the most. Okay, one of the thing is what's important is that as you're crafting your offer, it's not just about making it look attractive, but it should be something that you can deliver with ease. Yeah, something that respects your energy. Now, if one-on-one in the beginning respect your energy, yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, one of the best advice that I've been given when I just started my journey is before you move on to a group model, you should have at least done your offer one-on-one with 12 clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you do that, you get enough feedback so that you can take on that additional load. Yeah, that additional group of people. Okay. And also intensive are really great to get feedback quickly. You can run your entire framework within one full day. Yeah, one full day workshop. Okay, and the great thing is because you have a framework, your framework becomes the backbone for each of these models. You can deliver your framework one-on-one, you can deliver it in a group, or you can deliver it in a full one-day workshop. And that's the flexibility that you have. So remember, you want to keep things lean. Okay, include only what you can deliver well. Yeah, have your core sessions. Okay, if you have 9 sessions, 6 sessions, yeah, document how many sessions. Also, what kind of template and resources you're going to have inside. And as I said, name those templates and resources. Yeah, what kind of checklist would you have? Yeah, what kind of templates? Because the thing about template actually increase speed. It helps with time. Yeah, so you want to name your template. Yeah. Also, what kind of light support do you provide? Yeah. Do you have specific office hours where your clients can check in with you? You know, you're going to always be there at this particular time every week. Or would you have a group chat? Or would you have live coaching calls? Yeah. And you want to avoid large content libraries or heavy tech in the beginning. You want to make it as simple as possible can be, as providing your resources inside of a Google Drive. Or if you want to be a bit innovative, you can put them on a thumb drive, depends on the format. Or simply having a Notion doc where everything is accessible. Okay, you want to keep it simpler and lean, especially when you're crafting this for the first time. Because one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of creators make is that they spend so much time and energy on their first offer, and then they realize they got to change so much as they start getting feedback and realize what's not working and what's working. So for your initial offer, keep it as lean as possible. Keep it on a document, yeah, one doc, a one-page doc that can be easily communicated, and you can share it, yeah, easily with potential clients. Now, price the transformation. Now, inside of your workbook, I shared with you the 3 steps that you can think about your price through. Yeah. And I want you to think about this. You don't price for hours. Yeah. You price based on the transformation. And what you can do, think about what is the cost of your client stay in stock. Yeah. A few days ago, I had a conversation with a potential client, and as we went through her business, she realized that if she overcome the obstacles that we'll be working through, at a minimum, she'll be able to make $2,000 per month. Yeah. And this simply means that if she doesn't do anything to change, That's the opportunity cost is $2,000 per month, yeah, for the next 6 to 12 months. Yeah. So what is the cost of your the school being stuck? What is the cost on the bottom line for your client if they continue doing the same thing over and over? And you want to make sure you put that in dollars. Yeah. And this is where you can do a gut check cost. If you have the numbers, it's even better. If you know, okay, it costs my particular client right now, he's a leader and he get paid say $100 per hour. Yeah, so that means every hour time waste, if he's wasting 8 hours throughout the day on busy work and not getting the real work done, yeah, you can simply do the maths to equate a number. Also, think about the value of the change. Yeah, because the thing is, when you impact a leader within an organization, the value transcends throughout the organization. It transcends to their team, it transcends in their home. Yeah, so what is the value on the organization as a whole? Yeah, and then when you have these two numbers, a good rule of thumb would be, yeah, you want to take at least 10% to 20% of that number and just choose a confident wrong number. Okay. And then you lead with that. Yeah, so I want you to take some time. Yeah, and I want you to think about your offer and the value and the cost of your client stay in stock. Take 2 minutes and just think about it. What is the cost of stay in stock? Also, I have value each inclusion. And when I say each inclusion, that means valuing each of the things that is included. Your sessions, the workbooks, the templates, add a value to each. Okay, because you literally sit down and you're gonna take time to create these templates. Yeah, what value would you put on that time? Yeah, if you had to, as well as the transformation that you create in each session. Yeah, what is the numeric value that you can add to those? And then once you have those numbers, then you want to create your 3 anchor price point. Yeah, you have an entry, a mid, and a premium. And most often, the mid price point would be for your core offer, which would be this number. Okay, this is for your core offer. If your core offer is one-on-one based on the model that we create, yeah, that's the core offer. If your core offer is a group program, that's your core offer. And most likely, an entry offer would be 1 session. Yeah, which can be an initial consultation. Or in Sophia's case, it can be the initial assessment. And then your premium offer is gonna be most likely your core offer plus extra. And that could be anything from where you do in-house workshop with the entire team. Yeah, if you're dealing with a leader or you're working with a school, you're doing in-house workshop for the entire all the teachers. Yeah. So the idea is once you have your core offer, it's a matter of adding and minusing from your entry offer and your premium offer. Okay, so take about 5 minutes and complete your price exercise. Now, after over 12 years of leading workshops, yeah, from the age of 16, I've been leading workshops every week. Yeah, and then I became a teacher immediately out of college. And yeah, I continued doing that. And even after becoming an NLP practitioner, I still felt guilty asking for money. So it had nothing to do with the thing that I was doing, but it had a lot to do with how much I think what I was doing was worth. Yeah, because I was doing it so much, I was passionate about this thing, right? I didn't know I can even get paid to do what I was doing. Yeah. And when I started my business, yeah, I thought that if I start charging money, then I'll be seen as greedy or people would leave. And I remember having a conversation with Adrian, and he asked me this very important question that shift everything. He said, you know, what is the impact of your work on this person's life? Yeah, if you gotta quantify that, how much would it be? Yeah, and there wasn't a number, right? There was the number because the impact is so big. I can see how it's gonna shift everything in these individual life because some of my clients were leaders. Yeah, and I know that if they're not performing well, most likely profits aren't gonna be performing well, and there's a probability that people are gonna lose their job. Yeah, and what's the impact of the work over the next 12 years as well? Yeah, But at that time, I was in a really tight place financially, and I needed to pay rent. So what I did, I started charging 12 kiram because that's how much I needed for rent. Yeah, every quarter. Yeah, so my plan was to price my 3 month one-on-one coaching for 12,000 RMB. Yeah, I was still anxious and I was nervous. Yeah, but I stick to my guns. And the first person who I made this offer to, they said no. Yeah, I even had some people ghost me. Yeah, and at that point, I feel like, I felt a bit defeated. Until one day I went to this housewarming party, and while I was there networking, I struck up a conversation with a lady, and she was inquiring about what I do, and I said I'm a coach. And at that point, she has been in therapy for some years now, and she was, curious about coaching and was looking for a coach because she did a lot of work on the emotional baggage. Yeah, a lot of work, and she felt like she was ready to focus on the future. And I offered her a complimentary session, and yeah, took her through my entire sales process, and she said yes, and she paid. Yeah, and she applied everything that we did during the session, yeah, to a point where she was super satisfied. And a few months after, she developed the courage and the clarity, yeah, that land her a position as sales director in the Swiss office of the company that she was in. Yeah, and this money felt like feedback, not judgment. And I started to realize how valuable my work is. And it's not about it's about who you're serving. Yeah, I know one of the biggest question you may have is what about the people who can't afford? Yeah, that's why you have free content. There are times when you can even offer a scholarship. However, there's people who's already investing in your work and paying significantly more, and they're still looking for you. Yeah, there's a lot of underserved people who just don't know you exist, and they'll be willing to invest at that rate. Yeah. And the result is I tighten my offer to one measurable outcome and ask for payment upfront with confidence. And that led for me to getting three additional one-on-one clients at that same price. Yeah. And the funny thing about this is it felt impossible. It felt impossible until I asked. And the reason why I'm sharing you this story is because you have not because you ask not. Yeah, you have not because you ask not. Yeah. And the question is, how do you measure value? Yeah, how do you measure value? Yeah, value is very subjective, my friend. Yeah, what people pay us for is time and transformation. Yeah, and my question to you is, when your client work with you, yeah, are you saving them time? Yeah, are you saving them the stress of not knowing how to work through their current problem? Yeah, and if that's yes, there's not a wrong number you can put on that. Yeah, that can communicate the value. Okay. However, at the end of the day, you know how much you would need to take care of stuff, and you know how much you are already getting paid for the work that you're doing in the job that you're in. So that's already a reference point for you. Yeah. Now this is your confident drill. Yeah. I want you to do this after this session. Is that you want to choose your price and choose a price that makes the hair in the back of your head stands up, and you want to say it in the mirror. Guys, I'm not kidding. Yeah, unless you're confident about the number that you're saying, they won't be confident. I deliver X results at Y price. Yeah, it's fair. And practice it. Practice it in the mirror and practice it saying it to someone. Yeah, so by the time you gotta say that price during a professional conversation, it flows from you easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practice saying your price. You need to sketch your onboarding, your client journey, sorry. And what I'll ask from each of you is to go to the workbook, sketch out your client journey, and share it in the group so that I can give you feedback. Now, this is very, very important because you're the architect of this offer. Yeah, you want to have a clear onboarding process, and there's some examples in the workbook. Like what was the first thing, second thing, and third thing happened during onboarding. You want to document your early wins. Yeah, and the deep work section, that's definitely your core framework. And then you have a graduation session at the end. Yeah, for each stage, you want to list what's going to happen. Yeah, and what you're going to deliver. And also how the client is going to feel.
Yeah. Here's a quick example. Yeah. In week one, quick wins, they complete a 30-minute audit, identify 3 tasks to remove or delegate this week, and schedule one delegating task by Friday. Now, it doesn't have to be like this. It could be as simple as scheduling your next session, signing your contract, and finally you'll receive a welcome email. Yeah. That could be it. It could be as simple as completing your intake assessment form. You'll send a message and join the group, etc. But you need to have clear action steps of what happened next. Also, create an onboarding checklist. Yeah, what's your onboarding process? Yeah, you receive a welcome email, your agreement, and a calendar invite. Okay, you complete your intake form. Yeah, and you schedule your onboarding one-on-one. Whatever that is for you, you want to document it step by step by step, and you understand why this is important when we cover the sales segment of the entire training. Clarity is power. Yeah, clarity is power. When a client knows what is happening next, they feel confident about their buying decision. And when you have a documented process of what happened next, you feel confident about your process as well. Okay. Okay. Final exercise. Your 90-day intention. Yeah. In 90 days, what would you do? And you want to make it measurable. In the next 90 days, your focus should be on completing everything for your offer. Yeah. And then you reverse engineer what needs to happen in 60 days, what needs to happen in 30, and then have your 48 micro step. And your 90 days measurable offer can be as simple, yeah, as recording your first introductory video. It can be as simple as landing your first client. Make it clear, make it specific.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Champ, I had a question. You said they're paying for transformation, right? Not like the hours. But aren't clients sometimes, like myself included, paying for the experience of working with you rather not just the transformation at the end, but like the experience?
Well, a great example to use, if I hire a fitness coach,
Yeah.
yeah, what I'm paying for is the outcome that I want, right? I want to lose weight, I want to gain muscle. The experience now come down to the individual and how he deliver. Yeah, that's his personal method or IP, and experience is subjective. Yeah, the way how I describe my experience compared to you, that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I share the gel and the whole analogy.
Well,
Yeah,
with
the
the
person who
yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead.
The experience I mean is kind of just my experience working, like say one-on-one, like every week with you, like how I feel during and after the session, like how I feel with the fitness coach during the coaching sessions. The transformation is like, can I lose body fat in 3 months, right? But the experience is actually like how you feel while working with the coach
Mm,
every week, right? And
mm, mm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Most often, experience make your clients stay. Yeah, transformation is what makes them pay.
Hmm. Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. You create a good
Okay, so let
experience.
me. That's the game that we play. So let me know, each of you. Yeah, what is your 90-day one measurable outcome? What is your 90-day one measurable outcome? Yeah, in the next 90 days, I will.
Wow. These are deep.
I'll give you 1 more minute. Twenty seconds. Ten, nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Joy, what is your 90-day measurable outcome in the next 90 days?
Okay. In 90 days, I will complete my course workbook and self-publish it. In 30 days, find 5 pilot members to do the workbook. 60 days, have the final copy. 90, send it to the designer and self-publish.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I'll ask your accountability buddy to hold you to that. If you guys haven't had your first check-in call as well, yeah, that would be something great to hold each other to. Anan?
In the next 90 days, I will have a website, onboarding system, and materials in place to work efficiently and effectively with students to craft high quality college application essays ready to submit.
Awesome, awesome. I'll ask the same as well with your level up buddy. Yeah, this is a great goal to hold each other accountable to. Yeah, you have a 90-day sprint. Yeah, so make sure that you have that resource to you. And Sophia?
Create the monitoring tools for school leaders.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Guys, you have your 90-day goal as of this point. Yeah, at this point, your focus should now be on crafting all the materials that you need for your offer. Yeah, if you already have them, maybe you just need to outline, yeah, your key modules. Yeah, you know the name of the game. Yeah, imperfect action. This is our level up, level 5 job, the price gate. Yeah, your mission here is to say your price out loud 10 times in the mirror. Yeah, bonus, say it to the peer or post in the group. Yeah, and your reflection prompt is what story came up around your worth? Yeah, there's gonna be a story there, the story that create that initial form of resistance. And just check in with yourself. This is an opportunity for you to be present. Yeah, and once you've make your price drop, or you have said your price 10 times in the mirror, yeah, drop your check-in sign. Yeah, I claim my price. Yeah. Now, this is your quick win. Write your offer in 1 sentence. Yeah, I help client achieve transformation in time frame through your framework. Now, this becomes a powerful tool for you to use whenever you're networking or telling people what specifically you do. Yeah, this right here, right now, is communication training 101. Yeah, the person who's listening should have received the information clearly and know exactly what you do. Now, you have just unlocked module 5 of crafting, your offer. You have done all of the groundwork. It's just to package everything in one clear document. Now, once you've done that, please send it to the group so that you can get feedback, so that we can package this into something beautiful. In our next phase, which is module 6, phase 3, we learn how to sell our offer without pressure, manipulation, or hustler with our soul aligned sales expert, Sean Quinter. Now, Sean Q is one of the coaches who have inspired me, to be doing the work that I'm doing. And without his support, I don't think I'll be able to shop the way how I shop when I'm having a conversation with a new client, and create that space and that calm, even though I'm speaking to somebody for the first time around pricing and presenting my offer. Now, this session would be on the 1st of October. So that means next week is just going to be an open session because we're midway through our first 3 months where you'll ask your question, and we'll do a bit more hot seat coaching. So between now and then, you should have your offer ready to sell, meaning all of the uncertainty that you have around whether you should put in this template, this session, yeah, we should have already combed out. Now, the major key here, clarity, one repeatable outcome. Yeah, client buy a clear change. That's the heart of your offer. Price the change, not the hours. Yeah, pick a confident wrong number and practice saying it. Okay, I'll say that again. Price the change, not the hours. Yeah, you want to pick one confident wrong number that you can say over and over again. Okay, prove it fast. Yeah, run a tiny paid test, a micropilot, to get real feedback. Yeah, just like Joy said, she'll run a pilot with 5 clients so she can get feedback. And sometimes you don't need to do as 5, you can do up to 3, yeah, just to get some skin in the game. And that now, yeah, commit to 48-hour step and schedule your first accountability check-in. Now you have a level up body, yeah, reach out. Yeah, even if it's a 15-minute call, it makes the biggest of difference because you're going to get insight and a perspective that you may not have thought about. Now remember the name of the game that we're playing. You're building a soul-aligned coaching business, yeah, without the burnout. And right now we're doing the groundwork. And while it may seem a bit overwhelming, yeah, but this is just you shifting outside of your comfort zone, and that means that you are.
Now, if you make it all the way to the end, it means you're enjoying the training. So be honest. Go ahead and let me know what was your biggest insight, as well as leave a comment and tell me what is your next big step. If you're watching this training and you're not taking action, it means you're just like everybody else. And I know that's not you. You were born to lead. You were born to make a difference. So let's do the thing, man. Also, grab the workbook. Yeah, because that's where the action is. And that's why I put every single thing that you need to do so that you can build a soul-aligned business. New episode every week. Check out the things, man. Sunday, 7 p.m. China time. Yeah, and see you on the next episode.